Yo, you there?
You are using the audio. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me now? All right, we in
you.
the building. What's going on? What's going on, people? How y'all doing out there? How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing out there? Today we're gonna do some builds. We're gonna talk about Black Florida. We're gonna talk about Francisco Menendez. We have a whole bunch of, disinformation to dispel. Brother Sanab is gonna lay the law down. Oh, you get me now? All right,
Yo.
All right, so before I start the show, this is the scalping of legendary Top Catz, who's running around on Clubhouse. Black people. Hey, you want to hide on the show? Go on there. If somebody don't want to talk to you, so
Hey, yo,
I
think there's some static in the background. I hope that's you or Kamu.
Can't hear me?
Yeah, your jump was going in and out.
Yeah, it was
You
like some static.
You hear me now? All right, so we're going in right now, man. And I'm before we begin this, you know what we gotta do. You know what we gotta do. You gotta do what we gotta do. You already know what's about to happen. All right, after this little 3-minute interlude, gonna be ready for go time. Hold on. I lost it. Damn it. Bad Brown. Thought I had him on cue, ready to roll, bro. Let's go. Hold up. I need my intro, man. My Aboriginal intro, man. So how y'all doing out there, man? Each one is in the building. We in the flesh, we live, we here. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here it is. I found it. Okay, let's get back to share screen. All right, boom. After this, I'm gonna mute the mic, and I hope y'all don't hear that more static. And the screen is sharing, and be ready to go. Be ready to go. Hello, we here.
New Black Knowledge
is
over there right now calling you niggas out, saying y'all Aboriginals is fake, and Africans was over here running shit in the 14 and 1500s. None of you niggas gonna show up over there. I hope you show up, Aboriginal power. I hope you show up for me. That's all I'm saying. I hope you show up for me. I'm not about to say nothing negative about him. I don't have to say nothing negative about him. The proof in the... There's a channel called motherfucking New Black Knowledge that's dogging Aboriginals. Dogging you $5 Indian. Is on motherfucking New Black Power's channel tonight. All of them is gonna drop the fat ball. There's a Pan-African right now that everybody's scared of in the Aboriginal community. Care Mayo and Rob Bourne. Rob Bourne's channel the other day. I went over there to debate it for the Aboriginals, and none of them bitch ass niggas showed up over there, did nothing. None of the Indians, indigenous. Now Rob Bourne and them seeing it. Now Rob Bourne and them over there calling out all the Aboriginals. Talking about Africans was over here in the 1500s. So
That's right. Africans were over here in the 1500s. We gonna talk about it. Yeah, so now I'm gonna pass you the mic. I'm gonna make you the host so you can share your screen. Give me 1 second. Sanab, make host. You got the host, bro. It's on you.
Yo, can everybody hear me?
I can hear you. You good?
All right, bet. Let me see. Let me get my screen share. I'm just going to address the points that was brought up earlier in our conversation with legendary Top Catz. He mentioned us showing records, and we didn't be able to show records to substantiate where we're from. And in those conversations, I alluded to them, which I'm going to show you this evening. And peace to the chat, peace to everyone. I think you got like 27 in here already. I know it's been a minute. I know it's too many of y'all, so I ain't gonna say no names. So I'm just gonna say, if you in the chat right now, if you're listening, I appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share the show. What we're gonna get into? Let me see if I can get my screen shared. Hopefully everyone see my screen. I want to make sure we go before I begin because I don't want to make no excuses later on.
Screen is up. Bang, bang.
All right, bet. So, let me get out of this. We're gonna start from the beginning. So the source I have before you is University of Yale. It's a count book from 1750 April to 1758. And it's by a company called Henry and Lawrence. And you see down here in the description, it says Austin and Lawrence, merchants in Charleston, South Carolina, engaged in the slave trade, founded by George Austin and Henry Lawrence, later joined by George Appleby. Okay, it said in the abstract manuscript account book, an identified handwriting from Austin and Lawrence in Charleston, South Carolina, recording the purchase and sales, includes accounts relating to the sale of slaves. So we can kind of get into that. And then we're going to kind of go into Henry Lawrence. We're going to get into Bunce Island or Bance Island. We're going to kind of connect the dots via the historical record. People such as the Gullah Geechee, which for some low or low. Let me turn my volumes up. You hear me better now? I want to make sure we good. If everyone can hear me, you know what I'm saying, I'll keep it moving. We'll get into this account book. We got 31 in the building. Peace to those who joining us. This is as you can read by the title, Ether, legendary Top Catz Camus has entered the waiting room for his. I'm gonna meet you when Camus. So I'm gonna accept that we're good on the audio. So let's continue. So let me get on this page here. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the index of this account book. This account book again describes the products, the goods that were imported from this company, Henry and Lawrence. So, and just to give a brief breakdown so everybody can understand what we're looking at, we see on this index page, at the top left, you see number. Then on the next, it goes cargo, and then the subsequent column describes the cargo. Then it says received by, the next column is from, then account of, and then the subsequent page number. So it was low, it's better now. All right, cool, appreciate it. Peace to Sister Saja. AC in the building. Let's see, so first we see number 116, sundry, which is various items that's not worthy of annotating what it is. You can look that up on your own. We don't have to get into that. But you see it was received by Watkins from New York. We'll zoom a little bit more, just in case so everybody can see. And it says the account of Henry Allen, and it's page 1. And then you see, as we go down the list, you see sugar, more sugar, and linens. and the next columns to the right, you know what I'm saying, fill those columns. So with this document, we're trying to look for the Africans, the Negroes, the Black folks that unfortunately made their way to this continent or North America's, Central America, South America via the transatlantic slave trade. So let's continue to go down and see if we can find any Negroes. So boom, we see on number 128, Negroes received by Hind from Sierra Leone. Now that's an abbreviation, and I know that's the first thing they're gonna jump on, but don't worry, we're gonna get into that. And we see who was the account of, and we see its page number. So let's go to page 12. Please, family, what we got? I can't even see how many we have in the room, but fam, I appreciate y'all for coming through. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button, and then hit that bell so you be notified when we at Each One Teach One go live. All right, so let's continue. So we see here it says account of sale, number 128, charges a net proceed of 139 new Negro slaves imported from the Snow, Africa. Snow is just another word for a ship. You can Google that on your own. Called Africa, Thomas Hind, commander from Sierra Leone. Be like, man, so now we can't really see that, but we're gonna go back. So let's go back to this account book. And we see the subsequent page says ditto, ditto, ditto. So let's go to page, where we going, 14 instead, and see what we find. We see sale 129, charges a net proceeds of 10 new Negro slaves imported from the Snow, Africa, Thomas Hind, commander, Sierra Leone. And then the next three subsequent pages show that. So just for those who say, oh, that's not enough, we're gonna get to some more. So we're gonna go back to the index page. We see another number, 134 Negroes received by Gervin from Angola. Oh, wait a minute. Page 17. So let's go down to page 17. Let's get those likes up. Let's see. Account of sale, 134. Charge and net proceed of 327 new Negro slaves imported from the ship Emperor, charged Grand Commander from Angola. And you see family here. It lists men, women, boys, and girls. And earlier I spoke to in the other clubhouse room with regards to if you live in these areas and you're trying to find out where you come from, what plantations maybe, or what areas that your ancestors may have been occupying. These are one of the good sources, particularly Charleston, Georgia region, to kind of connect that dot. Let's see. We're gonna keep going because there's more. So we done seen Sierra Leone, we done seen Angola. Let's see what else is in this account book. The next line, 133, says ditto, but these Negroes are from Gambia. So let's go to page 21 and see what it says. And again, fam, you ain't seen me whip out no credit card. I didn't have to pay anything. This is free information. If you are on the Each One Teach One Discord, which in a few, I'll put the link of it in the chat. This information will be provided for you. Here's another account of sale, number 133, charges a net proceed of 82 new Negro slaves received in the Oral Brig, James Bennett Commander from Gambia. Last time I checked, there's only one place called Gambia. All right. and shows you on the account of Whaley, owners of the said brig, merchants in Liverpool. So easily here, just off this one document, we're able to connect the transit. Well, we're able to create a triangle in the transatlantic slave trade. We're showing ships leaving Liverpool, making their way to West Africa, and then making their way to Charleston, South Carolina. Then, of course, heading back to Europe. So that's another easy way right there to ascertain that. But there's another important aspect of this ledger that I think people kind of overlook, and I'm about to show it now. You see here on line 138, or account 138, it says slaves, and where they received from is Barbados. Now, how would slaves be coming from Barbados? I know that may anger or trigger certain ADOS groups, but yes, there is a connection between the Caribbean islands and the Americas. Here in this document, we see African slaves particularly coming from Barbados. Let's go to page 40. I'm also bugging out right there. I really hope everybody can see my screen. And we see over here, this is, the date is here, 1754, just in case anyone needs to see it. Number 138, charters and net proceed of 10 new Negro slaves received by the snow, which is another word for a ship again. And it has the master's name there, or quote unquote master, from Barbados. Hope everybody can see that there, make that out. All right, let's go back. So now let's tie it fully to Africa. Let's get into Henry Lawrence, and we'll do that with a subsequent record. So later on in this ledger, we're going to get to another area we see Negroes coming from Barbados, but also if you come further down, you'll see on record account 197, Negroes received by Ashburn from Bands Island, and the account of Oswald and Grant. Remember Oswald and Grant, put a pin in that. We'll come to them later. This is on page 116, so let's go to that. Page 116. So from here we see again, number 197, charters and net proceed of 110 new Negro slaves received from the sloop, which is another ship name, Bardside, Thomas Osborne, commander from the Banks Island and Sierra Leone River, right? On the account of Oswald and Grant, merchants in London, owners of said island. So let me stop sharing my screen for a second, because I want to get into Banks Island real quick, just for those who may not have seen it before or heard of it before. We're gonna tie this all the way in. Let me share my screen back again. Everyone can still see my screen. We got 38 people in here. We appreciate it. Again, this is a ether of the individual named Legendary Comcast and anyone else who agree with his sentiment in regards to African history or the lack of that can be found in the Americas. We're about to tie it back here. So let's get into the history of Bunce Island. Bunce Island was first settled and fortified by English slave traders circa 1670. During its early history, the castle was operated by two London-based firms, the Royal African Company and its offshoot, the Gambia Adventurers. The later Crown Charter Company, a pastoral subsidy by the Crown, October 31st, 1678, the Gresham College, and later offered the former and the contents of their investment on the island, and it gives the details of the island. Where we at? The earlier phase of the castle's history ended in 1728 when Bunce Island was raided by Jose Lopez de Mora, a Luso-African trader based in the area. He was the richest man in present-day territory of Sierra Leone, the grandson of a Mene king and part of the hybrid Luso-African community that had developed along the lower rivers. This class acted as middleman, resisting efforts by the Royal African Company to monopolize trade with African rulers. Lopez led others in destroying the Bunce Island factory. And just a quick note, if you check out Walter Rodney's, I believe it was his dissertation, it was the history of the Upper Guinea Coast, I think 1549, 1660, I could be messing those dates up, but he describes these Luso-African communities. And I think what's most important about it is that you see the creation of what scholarship will call the creation of the Creole culture. This Luso-African culture, as we spoke about before on this channel, was an amalgamation of Portuguese Lacandos who threw themselves on the African, denoting their name Lacando. And also it shows how the descendants of Luso-Africans, as this article describes, became the brokers. And that's attested in Hugh Thomas's slave trade, as well as Walter Rodney's history of the Upper Guinea coast. But let's continue. Bunce Island was abandoned into the mid-1740s. It was later operated by a London-based firm, Grant and Oswald and Company, who took it over in 1748. Now that's the same Oswald and Grant from the record book I just showed you. If everyone can remember, that's the same Oswald and Grant. So that's the tie those two things back together, who took over the island in 1748. In 1785, Bunce and a number of other dependent islands were conveyed to the company of John and Alexander Anderson. Let's keep going, because we're going to get into who is linked to North America. Bunce Island is best known as one of the chief processing points of slaves to be sold to planters in the low country of the British colonies of South Carolina and Georgia, including the Sea Islands, where they develop extensive rice plantations. Rice requires a great deal of technical knowledge for its successful cultivation. So when they call it the Rice Coast, that is why. And we'll get into some more of that later. So let's talk about this American colonist, Henry Lawrence, and we'll get to him. American colonist Henry Lawrence served as Bunce Island's business agent in Charleston and was a wealthy planter and slave trader. He later was elected as president of the Continental Congress during the Revolutionary War and was later appointed as the United States envoy to the Netherlands. Captured by the British en route to his post in Europe during the war, he was imprisoned in the Tower of London. After hostilities ended, he became one of the peace commissioners who negotiated United States independence under the Treaty of Paris. So again, this is just not Black history, this is American history, for one. So we have, let's continue. Nah, I don't want to get into this yet. Nah, we're gonna say the committee for the Black poor for later. I just wanted to get the Henry Lawrence, the connection with his account book showing the importation of Africans, specifically from Sierra Leone, from Gambia, from Angola, and ultimately, as I showed here, Bunce Island, which was the chief processing plant for those Africans coming directly to those British colonies. And again, this is pre-Revolutionary War. This is 1750s. And we already see the connection with companies in Liverpool and companies in London and the triangular trade via the British experience. So I'm gonna just click over because I believe everybody can see my screen. So the source I got before you now is it's a low country site. It is based by the College of Charleston, and it's a great repository of Southern culture, particularly African culture. There is other exhibitions on other people's, but there's definitely a bevy of knowledge and information with regards to the African American in the South, particularly what's considered quote unquote the low country or rice country. So for this article, it's called African Laborers for the New Empire, Iberia, Slavery in the Atlantic World. And I don't want to go too deep into it. I just want to highlight the Portuguese coming into West Africa. And we're going to start detailing how they chronicled it by talking about Gomez Zuaria. And this cover here, let me see, I hope everybody can see. And the cover says, by Gomez Zuaria, published in 1460, Paris, France, courtesy of the Bibliothèque Nationale de France. All right, so King Alfonso V, the Prince of Font, commissioned the tabulation of the conquest of Qaeda, which is northern Morocco, northern Africa and Morocco. And later on, when they made it to West Africa, passing Cape Bojo in 1440, there was another one commissioned to write about it, and it's called The Conquest of Guinea. And if I can remember it, I'll be sure to show it to you. Well, no, I'll put it in the Discord. For people in the Discord, I'm gonna make sure I got it for you. And again, if any of my mods are in the chat, please put the Discord link in there so the people who are interested can get a look at this stuff. So let's go back out. It says, with Portugal's expansion into Western Africa in the 15th century, Iberian merchants began to recognize the economic potential of a large-scale slave trafficking enterprise.
Your mic low, Snap.
Oh, shoot. What about now? You hear me now?
Yeah, it's still a little low though.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Say something again.
Check 1, check 2.
All right, you good?
We good now? All right. Yeah, just take my headset out. What was that? It said one of the first to record the sentiment according to the Portuguese word chronicler Gomez Ueria was a young ship captain named Tom Catz, who sailed to West Africa in 1441, hoping to acquire sealskins and oil. After obtaining his cargo, Gonzalez called a meeting of 21 sailors who accompanied him to unveil his plan to increase their profits. According to Ueria, Gonzalez told his crew, "We have already got our cargo, but how fair a thing it would be if we had come to this land for cargo of such petty merchandise. We're good fortune and bring the first captives before the presence of our prince." That's in the document. I'll show that later. Let's continue. I ain't gonna get into that. Make sure it's the same spot. Peace and away. Please like, share, and subscribe. All right, so let's get into Nicholas Ovando, who was the first governor of Hispaniola. This document here, I'm gonna read it for us all. It says, a letter from the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella to Nicholas Ovando, allowing Black slaves of African descent to be imported to Hispaniola, present-day Dominican Republic and Haiti. All right, the monarchs the recent converts, heretics, and peoples of other religions would harm the American Indians' conversion to Catholicism. However, they permitted slaves of sub-Saharan African descent, provided they were born in Spain. So let's read this translation. It says, because with great care we have procured the conversion of the Indians to our holy Catholic faith, and furthermore, if there is still a people there who are doubtful of the faith in our own conversions, it would be of hindrance to them, and therefore we will not permit nor allow to go there to the Americas Moors, nor Jews, nor heretics, nor reconciled heretics, nor person who are recently converted to our faith, except if they are Black slaves or other slaves that have been born under the dominion of our natural Christian subjects. So those Africans who were initially by Anton Goncalves took back the Iberian Peninsula, Christianized, then sent to the Spanish colonies. This was the letter authorizing that. Let's read it. It says, Nicholas Ovando was the first political leader to oversee the transatlantic slave trade to the Americas when he imported Black slaves from Spain to the island of Hispaniola. Ovando was the third governor of the Indies, as Spanish documents typically refer to Spain's American colonies, after Christopher Columbus, and assumed his post in 1502. The Catholic monarchs charged Ovando with indoctrinating American Indians, noting that as recent converts, they should not be allowed contact with Muslims, Jews, or Protestants. Let that be clear. They didn't want them around each other. So we're going to continue. We're going to get to this next document here, because I want to make sure we get straight to the point. In this document here, it says charter granted by Emperor Charles V to Lorenzo de Grovald for permission to transport slaves, right? It says before 1518, the slave trade was highly regulated and considered mostly of slaves being sent from Spain to the Americas directly by the Spanish government. However, Emperor Charles V opened the transatlantic slave trade on a massive scale August 18, 1518, where he granted a charter to Lorenzo de Grovald giving him permission to transport 4,000 slaves directly from Africa to the Spanish American colonies. And I'm not gonna read the whole translation, but I will do this for you. I will put the link to this sword in the chat. I didn't have to pull out a credit card.
Your volume went down again, bro.
God damn.
But what you saying? You had to pull out a credit card to get that link.
I had to pull out a credit card again. So now, as I cap up, hopefully everybody can still hear me. I just want to give it up to one of the ancestors, Martin Luther, one of the foundational Black community members, one of the fathers of Pan-Africanism. And I want to kind of get into what he said, because another aspect of our earlier conversation was us as the early Black community identifying ourselves and also claiming to be, claiming our rights for citizenship in this country by saying we were American citizens. So what I want to do is show you a book by Martin Luther called The Condition, Elevation, Immigration, and Destiny of the Colored People of the United States Politically Considered by Martin Robeson Delaney, 1852. So we're going to do a few stops in this book to get to the ultimate point. So initially, this idea, someone from one of these groups read about a meeting of African Americans in Philadelphia, and they didn't want to go to Africa and be colonized by the ACS because they were Native. And they kind of left a lot of information out. One of the things that the early Black community identified was that the ACS was a scheme to rid the country of the free Negro, so it can perpetuate the enslavement of our ancestors. That's fact. And Martin Delaney gonna tell you with his words. So we're gonna go to chapter 3 on American colonization. Hope everybody can still see. It says, when we speak of colonization, we wish distinctively to be understood as speaking of the American Colonization Society, or that which is under its influence, commenced in Richmond, Virginia in 1817, under the influence of Mr. Henry Clay of Kentucky, Judge Washington of Virginia, and other Southern slave owners, having their express object as their speeches in doing, all justifying us in asserting in good faith the removal of the free colored people from the land of their birth for the security of the slaves and the property of the slave propagandists. The scheme had no sooner been propagated than the old and leading colored men of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with Richard Allen, James 14, and others at their head, true in trust, and the cause of their brethren, summoned the colored people together, and then and there, in language and with voices pointed and loud, protested against the scheme as an outrage, having no other object in view than the benefit of the slave-holding interests of the country. And that as freedmen, they would never prove recreant, which is cowardly, to the cause of their brethren in bondage by leaving them without the hope of redemption from their chains. The free African wasn't just going to lead their mamas, uncles, cousins, brothers, wives, husbands in the South to suffer the whip. Those involuntary associations became voluntary associations. These very same men, i.e. Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, forming the Free African Society in 1787, petitioning Congress in 1799 to stop the Fugitive Slave Act that was tearing free colored people from the North, throwing them into slavery in the South, as well as the discontinuance of the slave trade to the coast of Guinea. That's the historical record. Why will people who are Indians or Aboriginals be so concerned about the African? Let's continue. I'm going to get to another page here. Let's get the page. I think it's on page 48. This is chapter 6, right? And it's entitled The United States, Our Country. Our common country is the United States. Here we were born, here raised and educated, here at the scenes of our childhood, the pleasant associations of our school-going days, the love enjoyments of our domestic and fireside relations, and the sacred graves of our departed fathers and mothers, who from here will have not been driven by any policy that may have been schemed against us. We are Americans. having a birthright citizenship, natural claims upon the country, claims common to all others of our fellow citizens, natural rights which may, by virtue of unjust laws, be obstructed but never annulled. Upon these do we place ourselves as immovably fixed as the decrees by the loving God, but according to the economy that regulates the policy of nations, upon which rests the basis of justifiable claims to all freemen's rights, may be necessary to take another view of and inquire into the political claims of colored men. This is not Seneb talking, this is what Martin Delaney said. Right, in his subsequent chapter, he goes in on the claims of Africa. I'm not gonna go into that. But what I would do for you here, I'm gonna put the link to this book in the chat. No credit card needed. Just go ahead and just click that link and you can read what Martin Delaney said for himself. Now, one last final thing. This idea that African studies and African history and this education comes from the European, which is ridiculous. We don't need to show the family here at African Free School because we've been here long enough. We understand that history. We know that Africans taught Africans. They mentioned, a white man taught the school, but yes, Charles Andrew was fired, and ultimately John Teesman, which is another tab for those who listening to me. John Teesman, New York African Free School, and you'll see the history there. Don't allow these people to quantum leap, take you from 1808 and then jump you a million years from then to substantiate who they are. We don't have to do that. Why? Because our ancestors made sure they left a record. This is our stone. This is our glyphs right here. You did, this is 1852. So again, to this idea of, we got all this information about Black people from white folks, but fail to tell the people about men like George Washington Williams. If you get a chance, that's another tab, a Black historian. And to this idea of going to Africa to study our people, I'm gonna show y'all something before I get out of here. Well, I'm gonna wait for the screen. I'm gonna let that sit there for a second. So, well, I'm gonna let this sit here. I ask all of you to please open up a tab and search up the Color Conventions Project. The Color Conventions Project is an online repository of the beginnings and end of the Negro Color Conventions movement, which began in 1830, started by a man named Hezekiah Grice from Baltimore, I believe. Now, these meetings, even starting from 1830, were designated upon finding territory to immigrate to. Now, one of these territories was Canada, or finding a settlement in Canada. A year prior to that, 1829, for the family who was in Cincinnati, Ohio, we can speak about the race riots. Eastern European, Irish settlers, or immigrants, attacking Black people, fighting over resources, most importantly, jobs. So what's your source for that? I don't know if y'all, I'm gonna let the chat go. So on the screen here, this says the official report of the Niger Valley Exploring Party by Martin Delaney, Chief Commissioner to Africa. And it's in New York and printed by Thomas Hamilton. Put a pin in Thomas Hamilton because we're gonna come back, because that's a Black man that is office of a Black man, a Black printer, printing about Black people going to Africa. So, but let's get into it. What we got in here? 41 here. Please, family, like, share, and subscribe. I see we got 41 likes. I appreciate it. Share it on all your social media apparatuses, the whole nine. Make sure the family can get access to this. Shoot, I don't think I see the Discord thing in here, so let me do this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this Discord in here real quick. Family, bear with me. Bear with me. I'm about to copy this over to YouTube right now. So fam, that's the Discord. Immediately following this bill, The links, everything I show will be in the Discord. It'll be in the public chat, so you don't have to worry about trying to dig for it. All right, so let's get into this Niger Valley party commissioned by Martin Delany. It says, to the General Board of Commissioners, gentlemen in the council, I herefore most respectfully present for your consideration my report on our return from an exploring tour in Africa and a visit to Europe as commissioners of the Niger Valley Exploring Party, after having earnestly and I hope faithfully protected our mission during the 21-month absence. So these men went to Africa for 21 months to study Africa. And this is February 15, 1861. Oh man, I'm gonna make this big. We're gonna go ahead and get these people out of here. And I hope everyone can see. I'm trying to reference the YouTube to make sure all the fam can see. Now, again, I mentioned earlier this Color Conventions Movement page. If you go to 1854, you will see the minutes of the National Immigration Convention of Colored Men. But this right here just adds up. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but you can definitely get the primary source on the Color Conventions site. But I'm gonna read the minutes. One second.
Yo, your mic cut out, bro.
I just went on mute for a second.
Oh, my bad.
It says, call for a national immigration convention of colored men to be held in Cleveland, Ohio, the 24th, 25th, and 26th of August, 1854. It says, men and brethren, the time has fully come when we, as an oppressed people, shall do something effectively and use those means adequate to attainment of the greatest and long desired end, to do something and meet the actual demands and present the prospective necessity of a rising generation of our people in this country. To do this, we must occupy a position of entire equality and unrestricted rights, imposing in fact an acknowledged necessary part of the ruling element of the society in which we live. The policy necessary to the preservation of this element must be in our favor, if ever we expect the enjoyment, freedom, sovereignty, and equality of rights anywhere. For this purpose, and to this end, then all colored men in favor of immigration out of the United States and opposed to the American colonization scheme of leaving the Western Hemisphere are required to meet in Cleveland, Ohio. So this is the part they conveniently leave out. The choice to stay in America wasn't because we're somehow natives or, native aboriginals. It's because we planted our anchor here. We have roots here. Grandma, grandpa is buried here. We built institution here. We cleared the fields. We fought in these wars. This country is just as much yours as anyone else's. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. It goes to the Board of Commissioners, but I want to get into section 3, which goes over the history of the project. So Martin Delany himself is going to answer all the questions, or answer the question that was asked of us earlier. It said, in the winter of 1831-2, being then but a youth, I formed the design of going to Africa, the land of my ancestry. In the land of my ancestry. When in the succeeding winter of 1832-3, having been fully commenced to study, I entered into a solemn promise with the Reverend Molston Madison Clark, then a student in Jefferson Collins at Cannonsburg, Washington County, Pennsylvania, being but 17 miles from Pittsburgh, where I resided, to complete an education and go on an independent and voluntary mission to travel to Africa, I as a physician and he as a clergyman. So people should stop saying Martin Delany was going over there and trying to evangelize, because here he's saying he going as a physician. All right, so let's kind of go down. It says, in 1850, I had fully matured a plan for an adventure, and to a number of selected intelligent gentlemen of African descent, of course, fully committed myself in favor of it. They all agreed that the scheme was good, and although neither of them entered personally into it, it fully sanctioned it, bidding me Godspeed in my new adventure as a powerful handmaid to their efforts in contending for our rights in America. we continue. We're gonna go down. Yeah, we're gonna get into this real quick. I want to give you, bear with me, family. I'm gonna get it now. Here, this I have been more indulged to give the letters of Mr. Douglas and Dr. Wilson in favor of Mr. Campbell. Now, put a pin in Robert Campbell, or even just open up a tab and look up who Robert Campbell was. Because some of my friends were supposed to think that I went out of my way to make a choice of an entire stranger unknown to us, instead of an old, tired acquaintances, as they were pleased to express it. But no one in the view, moral, social, political elevation of ourselves and the regeneration of Africa, for which I desired as a preference, and indeed the only adequate and essential means by which it is to be accomplished. Men of African descent, properly qualified on pure and fixed principles. These I endeavored to select by corresponding only to such of my acquaintances. And that's when he goes into trying to get the Dr. Amos Array, as well as getting Robert Campbell to go with him to the party. We're going him to the party to Africa. All right, so let's get to here. We're going to get to the actual establishment of the African Commission. And I don't want to read the whole thing, but it says here, the object of this expedition is to make a topographical, geological, and geographical examination of the valley of the river Niger in Africa, and an inquiry into the state and condition of the people of that valley and other parts of Africa, together with such other scientific inquiries as it may by them be deemed expedient for the purposes of science and for the general information. So there was no going to the white man to get information. We see Martin Delany in 1861 getting that information for himself. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but those who want a Discord will, you know what I'm saying, it'll be there for you. But this is the important part of it that I wanted to read to you, because when one of the things that I believe James McCune Smith talked about was white paternalism, and this idea that the European was able to not only fight for us to be free, but also tell us how we should get free. And this is something that Martin Delany talks on in this next segment. It says, as soon as these names with their destined mission were officially published, there arose at once from mistaken persons, white in Philadelphia, a torrent of opposition who presuming to know more about us, the blacks. Whoa, wait a minute. Is this a Martin Delany calling himself black, or suggesting that us, the people of African descent, are the blacks? That's a supporting reference for those who made that claim earlier. And so I'm gonna start again. Soon as these names with their destined mission were officially published, there arose at once from mistaken persons, white in Philadelphia, a torrent of opposition, who presuming to know more about us, the blacks, and our own business than we did ourselves, went even so far as to speak to one in our party and tell him that we were not ready for any such important undertaking, nor could be in 3 years yet to come. So that's Martin Delany already describing the doubters, the white paternalism, white folks saying, oh, you're not ready to go. These are black people who are acknowledging that they're the descendants of Africa, going to Africa. He didn't say nothing about evangelizing. Let me zoom in on that. He didn't say anything about evangelizing. It says a topographical, geographical examination, scientific inquiries for the purposes of science and general information. And again, let me pull up the source again so the family can see. And that's the official report of the Niger Valley Exploring Party by Martin Delany, Chief Commissioner to Africa. So we began with talking about the transaction book of Henry Lawrence. We talked about Henry Lawrence being a chief agent for the colonists in Charleston. We showed the connection between Henry Lawrence and Bunce Island, which again was one of the chief processing plants or processing locations for, I'm gonna get this so everybody can see it, for Africans. We showed Africans coming from those regions of Sierra Leone, Gambia, Angola. We discuss the people there. I didn't want to get into the Gullah Geechee because I feel like we brought their name up, too many times a day. And there's a lot of disrespectful conversation with regard to those people and what their history is. And I think it's very important that not only do we stick and deal with the historical record and the primary sources, but we let people speak for themselves. There's no secret history. There's no secret committees of invisible Illuminati people keeping history from you. Ask these people, who are they? Can they show their culture? Can they show where they come from? What language did they speak? Understand? Because we can show and prove that. Why? Because again, our ancestors left it in stone. They put it in writing. Martin Delany didn't rely on the European to tell him what was going on in Africa. Based off this official report, 1861, we African Americans, Black folks, as he alluded to and corroborated, was going over to the continent learning about our people. Him and men like George Washington Williams, which I believe you check I tell you what I do, I'll put George Washington Williams is, I believe it's called, I ain't gonna butcher the name, but just look out for the George Washington Williams. I wanna say Negro as citizens, 1660 to 1880. But please, family, like, share, and subscribe, share the show, hit that bell, so you'll be notified when we go live. Is there any questions in the chat with regard to the information that I showed? If anybody want a source, I mean, I put 2 of them in there. I don't want to put too many in there. It wouldn't be fair to the Discord. So I think I gave some good ones. I think I gave the Martin Delany book for free and then the Low Country resource for free. So there's gems on there. Rob Bourne, you still here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm trying to see, is there anyone in the chat that have any information with regards to the Niger Valley Exploring Party, you dig what I'm saying, as I'm showing here, or Martin Delany in general, or the idea of the American Colonization Society and their effect on Black people. We saw from Martin Delany himself in his own writings how Black folks wanted to stay here because we felt ourselves to be American citizens, and we wanted those rights like other class of citizens in this country. And we had already paved the way and paid our dues with regards to our citizenry. And I think subsequent chapters 8, 9, and 10 go into that. But fam, I don't see any questions, so we're gonna segue right into the guy. I know he got some stuff he want to pull. It's gonna be a heavy hitter. So, peace, bro. What's going on?
What's up, man? Yeah, man. And whoever this guy is, Billions, Bitcoin, whatever your name is, I got the link in the chat. So Seneb was building. He not looking at the screen. You have a lot of stuff to say in here. So before we go into the next segment, hit the link. If you don't hit the link, then you could just kindly kick his ass out if you don't hit the link. Or just remove his comments.
So, what question do you have of 3 million on Bitcoin? What's your contention on what I showed? Because you don't have a problem with me. You have a problem with the primary source. You have a problem with Henry Lawrence's account book.
Oh, his question was, he said, you only showed 3 Africans coming over here.
Oh, man, we're not going to do that, yo. He won't parent. You know what I tell him? You came in late. You ain't see as I went through a bevy of pages in that account book showing Gambia, Angola, Sierra Leone, slaves from Barbados, as well as highlighting slaves specifically from Buenos Aires.
Are you saying the ACS were not going to colonize, and if they just left Africa as slaves, why didn't they integrate into what? Bro, hit the link.
Hit the link, bro. I don't understand.
Hit the link.
He ain't gonna hit that link, bro.
Hit that link, yo. Hit the link, yo. You want to ask a question? Hit the link.
You ain't gonna hit the link. You gonna stay in the chat. All right. Let us know, man, before I go into the next segment. Hit the link.
The American Colonization Society. If they just left Africa as slaves, why they didn't reintegrate into their tribes? I don't know what you're talking about, family. See,
Man,
what I did was I didn't even really show you because I ain't gonna take up all the God time. But as you continue on in that report about the Niger exploring party, he going to Liberia, going to Yoruba land, going into Benin and Togo, and his correspondence with the leaders and the treaties that they signed. You know what? I may pull that treaty up, yo. Just
pull it up. Pull
the treaty up, yo. While we wait on this brother to come in, because I don't know if he really want to come in. I don't know if he's playing or not.
Man, he ain't coming in, bro. He's scared.
Why y'all scared of the Africans, yo? Y'all supposed to be, you know what I'm saying?
He said, come on, y'all gonna bully me. Look at Rob Bowen, shake my head.
I'm not a bully. Nah, we don't bully people over here, yo. We big. We don't do that over here. Now, if you coming with and you ain't really showing and proving nothing, and you just talking, then it's gonna get, you know, it may get a little contentious as we keep asking you for things you're not showing us. You know? He ain't gonna hit that link. Yeah, the fam is saying hit that link. Come on, y'all gonna bully me. Hit the link, yo. The link's in the chat, yo. We're gonna wait for you. We're gonna wait for you. Bueller. You're not gonna hit that link. Hey, listen, hey, you know, what we've been seeing is there's been a lot of talk about African history. There's been a lot of conversation on who we are and where we come from, but I yet to see anyone really show anything. It's a lot of conjecture. So let me pull this treaty up. Let me share my screen again. All right, we my screen back up.
Hold up, I don't see it.
All right. Fam. I want the fam to see it.
You up now, I think. Yeah,
Up now. Okay, so right here is a treaty that was signed between the party from the Niger Valley Exploring Party and the local chiefs in the area that they was visiting. So it said this treaty made in His Majesty Okukinu, Alake, Somonye, Isharum, I'm not going to butcher these names, chiefs of the Balagoons and Obukuta on the first part, and Martin Delaney, Robert Campbell of the Niger Valley Exploring Party, commissioners from the African race. Read that again. It says, to the treaty made between His Majesty, and it lists the Majesty's names, chiefs and Balagoons of Abokuta, the first part, and Martin Robeson Delaney, and Robert Campbell of the Niger Valley Exploring Party, commissioners from the African race of the United States and the Canadas in America. It's 1861. The link is in the chat, yo. And then you see the articles here that the king and chiefs on their part agreed to grant and assign to the said commissioners on the behalf of the African race in America the right and privileges of settling in common with the Iba people in any other part of territory belonging to Abokuta, not otherwise occupied. So they saying here, you can come back and settle here. So why y'all talking about they won't trying to get you to come home? That's not what the treaty says. All matters requiring legal investigation among the settlers be left to themselves to be disposed according to their own custom. Article 3, that the commissioners on their part also agree that the settlers shall bring with them as an equivalent for the privileges above accorded intelligence, education, and knowledge of the arts and sciences, agriculture, and other mechanical industrial occupations, which they shall put into immediate operation. Where do you see anything about religion here? For the haters. That's not what's in it. It says the commissioners on their part also agreed that the settlers shall bring with them, when you come to settle here, this is what you're agreeing to bring: intelligence, education, a knowledge of the arts and sciences, agriculture, and other mechanical and industrial occupations. I mean, I don't know. This is what I want to see from these individuals that say they come from or are something else. So again, this is the Africans here signing a treaty with the Niger Valley Exploring Party for the who identify, as you see, from the African race of the United States and the Canadas in America. Come on, fam. I don't know. I don't know what they're saying. I want to show something else to you while we here. Hey, you ready, Alan?
Whenever you good, if you show something else, you good.
All right, bet. I'm
And
show.
I'm just gonna, you already know what I'm gonna build on. Yeah, that shit is crazy, bro.
I'm gonna show. Yeah, man, and I would think it would just, on some YouTube shit. Yo, this shit is everywhere. Nobody gonna hit that chat, yo. I'm surprised, yo. Nobody gonna hit that chat. I'm gonna show this one last thing, and then I'm out. Yo. It's back to this idea that Africans wasn't asking us to go home. We just see here in this treaty in 1861. The Exploring Party signing a treaty with the chiefs and Bologuns of Abuka, which is in Nigeria. But here is which is hard to read, which is the Laws of Liberia, 1857 to 1869. But in it, which let me scroll down. I'm gonna go to this same time period, 1861, when I believe President Benson was the leader of Liberia, and at the time. So let me go to these laws real quick. Zoom in on this. So just for the sources, the Laws of Liberia, 1857 to 1869. And it says an act providing for commissioners to enlist immigrants from the United States. It is enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the Republic of Liberia and legislature assembled, that the president be and he is hereby authorized and requested to appoint suitable commissioners, citizens of Liberia, to the United States to present a case of Liberia to the descendants of Africa in that country, and to lay before them the claims that Africa has upon their sympathies and their paramount advantages that would be accrued to them, their children, and their race by returning to their fatherland. Why is there a law in Liberia of Africans telling other Africans to come back home? One of these men that was suited as a commissioner was a man named Alexander Crummell. And that's another tab that you can open up and search on your own time. But I'm gonna go ahead and relinquish the range and pass it to the guy, Rob Boy. Peace.
Peace, go Bill. Yeah, you gotta put the host back so I can share my screen.
Shoot, wait a minute. More make host. You the host now.
All right, we in the building. So I'm gonna work backwards a little bit. So legendary Cat, that's his name, legendary Cat. He said that Francisco Menendez was an Indian. So really, what record do you have to show of who Francisco Menendez is? So when you look at our channel, we talk about the Black conquistadors who come with the Americas to show that the original Black people that came here, they were free people. We tell you about Juan Las Casas, Las Canarias, and that was the guy on 1492 on the ship. We didn't tell you about Juan Garrido. We didn't show this. You can just look at the channel. However, today we're going to be talking about Florida. And I'm going to work backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And this will be real quick. Give me 1 second here. Share screen. Start broadcast. Woody woo. All right. So what you're looking at on the screen is the Florida Museum. So this is an EDU site. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna work backwards. We're gonna be talking about the Carolinas. We're gonna be talking about the migration of.
You still there?
Can't hear me? Yo, mic check.
Yeah, you good, bro. You good.
So I just unshared my screen. All right, hold up. Let me go back. Let me go
Everyone
back.
can still hear Rob Boone.
Yeah, we hear you, Chanel.
You can hear me?
Yeah, you good.
You can see my screen?
It say you started screen sharing, but ain't nothing showing up yet.
What about now?
Nope.
Ain't nothing sharing up? Yo, mic check. This is my screen sharing.
It said it is, but ain't nothing showing up. Let me hold
Is
on
it?
one second.
Look on the YouTube and see.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking at. Well, you know, it's a little delay in it, but
All right, let me open my.
I think that was me, yo. Pull your joint back up.
Huh?
No, it's not. It's not sharing right now.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, it's just black. Said double click to enter. Yeah, it's all black.
All right, so let me go again. I'm gonna press again. Let me know if my shit's sharing now.
Yeah.
all right, now you good.
You can see my screen now?
Yeah, you good.
All right. So this is from the Florida Museum EDU, right? So we're gonna work backwards, and we're gonna talk about St. Augustine because this is very important. And for just your regular history of American history, that is the first city in what becomes the U.S. or the first occupations of European and Africans as a part of a settlement in the United States. So, and that happens in 1565, but we're gonna get to that. So you see this here says military skirmishes and encounters between Spanish and English forces and their respective Indian allies. Over control of the area between Charleston and St. Augustine began almost as soon as Charleston was established in 1670, and they escalated dramatically through the 18th century. Most of the remaining frontier missions and St. Augustine itself were burned down during the sieges of Carolina Governor James Moore in 1702 and 1704. By the end of the first decade of the new century, Spanish activity in East Florida was restricted to St. Augustine. One of the most aggravating aspects of the conflict for the English colonists was the role taken by the African slaves. Africans who escaped from English plantations were given sanctuary by the Spaniards in Florida to the outrage of the former owners. So, there's a proclamation that was put forth by the English, by King Charles in 1693, that's given sanctuary to all people who run away from the British runs away from them there, and all they have to do is accept capitalism and they're free. All right. As we keep on moving, it says the first African refugees. So this will begin your Underground Railroad. This is our first Underground Railroad. And why are we going there? We're going there because the king in Spain made a proclamation: if you come here, you will be free. The first refugees arrived in 1686, and by 1738, their numbers were sufficient to form a free black militia settlement and a fort a few miles north of St. Augustine, and this would become known as Fort Mosaic. They represent a first line of defense for St. Augustine against English raiders. Here's some of the artifacts that they have there. We are now on to our person of interest, Francisco Menendez. Top Cat said he is an Indian. He needs to pull any source to say that he is an Indian. Francisco Menendez was a Mandinga born in West Africa in 1704. He was captured and sold into slavery to an English planter in the Carolinas sometime between 1720. He escaped and fought with the Yamasee Indians against the English for several years. In 1728, Menendez arrived in Florida in the company of Yamasee Indians. But despite the King of Spain's 1693 proclamation giving liberty to all, Menendez and 30 other escaped Africans were enslaved. Although a slave at the time, Francisco became the captain of the town's black militia and petitioned the crown for his and his compatriots' freedom. This was granted in 1738, and Menendez became the captain of the Mose militia and the governor of the newly found settlement of Mose, a position he held until his departure from Florida in 1763. During the interlude between the destruction of Mose by Oglethorpe in 1740 and its rebuilding in 1752, Menendez hired on as a privateer on Spanish Crozar ships. He was captured and tortured by the English, but escaped to write an account of his ordeal and resume his leadership of the Mose community. We have his letter, but I'll just be waiting for Top Catz to pull up. So I told you guys we need to back up. So I'm gonna be starting and going backwards. This is just giving you a blueprint, and I just want to just get this straight out the point. This is coming from the Florida Museum, see it to EDU site. All right. So now we're gonna move on from this, and now we backing up. So this comes from the NPS. This is the National Park Service. These are the people in the United States who go over the history of monuments and Pacific places in the Americas. Right here, you see it. It says African Americans in St. Augustine, 1565, 1821. Right here, it says, let's scroll down here. As Spaniards conquered and colonized in the Americas, they were charged with a due purpose to bring wealth to the Spanish crown and to bring souls to the Catholic Church. They established mission systems across all the lands they claimed, Christianizing the Native Americans and creating an extensive network of farms and information gathering sources in the process. Africans, both free and enslaved, were part of Spanish armed forces both in Europe and in their first expeditions across the Atlantic. I think we went over this. Now, here's this part. Africans come to Florida. When Pedro Menendez de Alvarez established St. Augustine in 1565, he was accompanied by free and enslaved Africans. There is something called the Asianto, and this Asianto was given by King Philip for him to have 500 slaves to be imported so that he can help protect the people. Who they fighting here? They're not just fighting the British. There's another fort called Fort Caroline that comes on the scene, and these people are going to war for position. So let's keep moving. It says they worked on early fortification, sawed timber, built several structures, including a church, a blacksmith shop, and an artillery platform. They also cleared land for planting and harvested the crops. In October 1687, the first recorded fugitive slaves from Carolina arrived in St. Augustine. Governor Diego Carraga dutifully reported to Spain that 8 men, 2 women, and 3-year-old nursing child had made good their escape in a boat. 6 of the men were put to work on the new Castillo de San Marcos, but 2 others were assigned to work. This is just basically showing like these records and sources is at the end. They're here. This is showing you the Black town. And this is where I'm going to back up and go to something else. So here's your first free Black town in what now becomes the United States. This is not the first free Black town in the Americas, but this is the first free Black town in what is the United States. And is ran by a Mandingo African. In the decades following the King's decree, many more enslaved Africans escaped from the Carolinas and found refuge in Spanish Florida, promoting additional royal decrees. So there's more royal decrees to this. In 1733, reinforcing the offer of freedom, prohibiting the reimbursement of the English of escaped slaves, and requiring 4 years service to the crown in order to become free. So many freedom seekers came to Florida that in 1738, Governor Manuel de Montana granted them a plot of land about 2 miles north of St. Augustine where they could build their own settlement and fort. The people became Catholics and adopted Spanish names and Spanish culture with an African flavor. The settlement Gracia de Santa de Mose or Fort Mose. So I just wanted to back that up. So you have a couple of points and things that you guys could look at and some things to reference. However, we want to go deep. We want to go more into this time frame of these 1700s and, 1600s in these areas. So I wanted to put that down to show when these people got there, who brought them there, where the Asianto came from, and who now becomes the person of interest, which is Francisco Menendez. We are now entering my Kindle. This is called the Weapons of Mass Destruction page. So now, just go in here, and I will show you the title of the book when we get there. So, oh no. I want to go here first because I didn't make no slides for this. So this is real simple. We do this real quick. So this is a post that I got from my book, and I'll show you that I have it. Right? So you see the book here? It's called The Yamasee Indies in Florida and South Carolina. So this is important because these people, these Aboriginal nutbags, they begin to talk about this history in the areas that the brother was talking about, the Yamasee, and they talk about the Gule, which is Guale. I don't think you have to do further research. Those tribes are extinct. Their culture does not exist. Their actual language does not exist. They even had to reclassify it recently, and I showed this on my last debate. However, the purpose of this, because I'm going to come here, and I'm going to show you these people and a certain leader, and then we're going to go back into some real sources and check some things out here. It said, during the decades of English oppression in Carolina, abused Yamasee and enslaved Africans found common cause. And finally, in 1715, they rose together in revolt. I want to make this clear. These Africans and Yamasee, all throughout the documentations, there is a differentiation and a difference in kind. When their uprising ultimately failed, they fled southward to seek promised sanctuary in Florida and to become part of the Spanish community. Spanish officials in St. Augustine considered the Yamasee returning converts and allies and allotted lands on the city's periphery on which the Yamasee chiefs formed new villages. I will show you some of those new villages once we are done with this. Despite a 1693 order requiring Florida governors to shelter runaway slaves of Carolina seeking the true faith, however, African veterans of the Yamasee war allies had a different outcome. Difference in kind. Let's keep reading. Heathens among the Yamasee. Who's the heathens? Huh? Heathens among the Yamasees retained some African as their own slaves. Say what? The Yamasees retained some Africans as their own slaves until Spanish officials purchased them and incorporated them into black militia units and deployed them alongside Indian counterparts on repeated guerrilla raids against Carolina. In 1738, the Yamasee chief Jaspo, as he was known in Spanish records, joined in the still enslaved Africans' legal efforts to secure a long-sought freedom. In 1724, 10 more runaways reached St. Augustine, assisted again by English-speaking Yamasee Indians, and they stated they knew that the Spanish king had ordered freedom. Careful, not to generalize this stuff. There are moments when the particular Yamasee treated Africans as chattel, but for the most part, Yamasee guided enslaved Africans on their fight to St. Augustine, liberated enslaved people, and joined with escaped slaves on guerrilla raids against the British, forward cultural and familiar ties that lasted well beyond the 18th century. So I said this, I put this here, there's the book. I'll pull it up to show you that I got the book. But this is important because all through the colonial records is what we want to look at. And the colonial records is where else, there's nowhere else you're gonna find this. You have no oral tradition. You have nothing. The only oral traditions you will have are people who live in that area who tells the story of how the fort was built and things of that nature. But the colonial records that you guys love to use tell you what's what. Okay, so now we're going back here. Hold up. We're going to get there in a second. Rock with me. So this is a very important part that we are about to reach. And this is going to be the end of my thing because this is real quick. This is too easy. This shit is dumb. I don't understand these people. It says the Gullah War, or the African role in what is properly called the Seminole Wars, can most actually be said to have begun around the time of the Stono Rebellion. Why is he saying this? In South Carolina, and have included the aborted Denmark Vesey revolt in Charleston, as well as other numerous skirmishes and battles which took place in South Carolina and Spanish Florida. All of these can be viewed as part of an ongoing resistance by captured and forcibly immigrated Africans to the institution of slavery imposed by the U.S. colonists. When writing about the U.S. history of this period, however, most historians and social scientists usually highlight the Revolutionary War, 1776, and the conflicts of 1812, the purchase of Honda, including what is now called Georgia, from the Spanish. So this is important, but let's get to the good stuff now. Let's get to the good stuff. How significant were these wars? There was 3 of them. 1816 to 1818, 1835 to 1842, and 1855 to 1858. Throughout this whole entire time, these people were over here kicking the European ass. But let's keep moving. It says, how did the natives and Geechees coordinate their struggle? Huh? Are you making a distinction in kind? Let's see. To what extent was the war by Africans against enslavement? Here, we're going to look at the colonial records as they speak for themselves. At the outset of the Second Seminole War, the Geechees of the Seminole Confederacy were described as bold, active, armed. In his history of the Second Seminole War, Captain John T. Sprague wrote the following: the Negroes from the commencements of the Florida War have for their numbers been the most formidable foe, more bloodthirsty, active, and revengeful than the Indian. Whoa, wait a minute. I thought Negro and Indian was the same. Let's read that motherfucker again. We're gonna look at the goddamn colonial records, you internet Indians, indigenous to the keyboard ass niggas. Let's go again. Captain George T. Sprague wrote the following: the Negroes from the commencements of the Florida War have for their numbers been the most formidable foe, more bloodthirsty, active, and revengeful than the Indian. Furthermore, somebody else says something. Let's see who pops up. Whereas General Andrew Jackson have referred to the First Seminole War as the Savage and Negro War. General Thomas S. Jessup referred to the Second Seminole War in the following words: this is a Negro, not an Indian war. So there is a distinction in kind in these colonial records. And then we want to look at who were the names of the Geechees who fought for their enslavement. All the names up here, you see them: Abraham, Yabi, August. Here they go right here. You have John Hawes. Then you have the people who are mixed, etc. So I'm not going too much into this because I touched this briefly. But what I am going to do, I want to show these black towns. And I'm going to show y'all the source of this. And I think y'all should get these books because it's very imperative, because it tells about a time. Let me just put it in here. How would I do it? Prospect Bluff. Let's see what comes up. All right. Hold on. All right. Nope, that's not it. Is it this one? Interesting. Where is it? Where is it? I'll find it. Oh, we getting close. I have this whole thing underlined. Aha. 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 Okay, let's go. So this is picking up in this Florida, right? So, it says the liberated territory in Florida was populated by a loose organization of associated towns, enjoying a great deal of local autonomy and displaying a large measure of cultural diversity. The constituent members from the different regions and spoke various languages, while the most historical writing refers to the Gullah in Florida as Seminoles. Their sources next to here. The actual incorporation of Gullah into the Confederacy was not individuals who have been assimilated to an Indian culture, but rather as collective groups living independently in their own communities and maintaining their own languages and ethnicity. How do we know this is true? I need to blow this up. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me, baby. All right, here you go, right here. So I need y'all to go do this on your own. You see this? These are the Black Fort settlements. There's Negro Fort and Prospect Bluff and Fort Mosaic. We know about that, right? Here are the Black villages. Mulatta Girls Town, Town, King Helger's Town, Big Swamp, Bucker Woman's Town, Bogey Island, right? Now here are the Seminole villages with Black residents. Key words, different in kind. Bowlegs Town 2, Bowlegs Town 1, etc. I'm gonna leave this on the screen and blow it up a little more and challenge me and show me that these people are all Native Americans and there is no difference in kind. All right, so let me go back here. I'm gonna go to one more thing here. Hold on, let me get back. Oops. There was something else I wanted to cover before I move on, and this is a very important point of this. You got any questions about this stuff you looking at, Kamu? No questions?
No,
What is it?
no.
What was it called? I want to see Creek Federation. Federation. And be done after this. Federation. There it is. Okay, this is important. And these are different battles and stuff that happen, but there's a reason I'm going over this, right? It said in 1814, General Andrew Jackson crushed the combined forces of the Creek Confederation at Horseshoe Bend on the Tallahassee River by imposing a treaty upon the defeated Creek Confederation, which ceded several million acres to the Americans in such a way that it surrendered and fragmented the Creek Islands. Jackson made it impossible for them to exist any longer as a cohesive society. The Creek divided into two: those who submitted to the U.S. colonist agenda and those who resisted. Some 5,000 warriors and their families, the exiles, followed the indomitable Creek leader Sarkofa over the border into Florida to ally with the Gullah forces and other allied First Nation groups. The defeat of the Creek Confederation and the movement of Creek Sarkofa into the alliance with the Gullah freedom fighters provided the extra manpower for what can be called the Grand Alliance of the exiles against the U.S. Continental Army. So this is very important. Whenever you read these things, when the dude asks the question to the young brother Gullah, well, when did the Gullah get enslaved? What are you talking about? The Gullah were created in the Americas. They are a conglomeration of multiple West African tribes and Native people. Why? Because of these alliances and these wars that you just saw very briefly. So Mr. Chief Top Cap, all cap nigga, all caps, you need to show and prove what the brother Seneb brought up, and you need to show and prove that your man, what you probably trying to say is a Yamasee because he fought with the Yamasee War. You need to show and prove that Francisco Menendez ain't a goddamn African. You need to show and prove that the Gullah people did not come from West Africa and that culture started here as an amalgamation of slaves and these forces that merged together. And now we changed the game. When we talk about the Seminole Wars, I gave you the colonial records where they show you a difference in kind. And they told you it is a Negro war. It is not an Indian war. What are you going to say? Oh, those were the Mongoloids. Yeah, the Negro was the real Indian, and those were the $5 manga. Nah, nigga, you ain't getting out of that. But I'm done, yo. You got something else, Seneb?
No, I was hoping that one of them would like to click on that link, but I don't think that's gonna happen. That's all. Looking to anybody got anything in the chat? Running.
Where's Danny at? That's Danny?
He in the chat.
In the chat? Let's give him the link and see if he want to join I don't think he want to join the party. He ain't with that shit.
We don't have to entertain them guys.
So, brother Kamu, man. So what you got? What you got for us, man? So we got the young brother Kamu on here. He been studying hard. He been up in the building. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell the people who you be, what you represent, what set you rap, why you bang. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm but I'm in Houston, Texas right now, and just soaking up all the wisdom and knowledge y'all brothers be providing for me, trying to learn everything I can get. Shout out to Rob Bourne, got me on this book diet. So right now I'm currently reading the Maroon Society, knocking that joint out. So that's what I'm currently working on right now.
Oh man, that one's gonna hurt feelings right there. That Maroon Society's Richard Price joint, and that's a diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
Definitely get the breakdown. We talk about it offline with the Bacombos, Quilombos, and those other African settlements. So just the resources that book presents, it just kind of makes it, a dagger for them people that we were talking to earlier.
Yeah, so people say some crazy stuff, bro. Slave trade. I heard online the Dutch and the Portuguese and the Spaniards they came to America to take those people to West Africa because West Africa didn't have no inhabitants. They also took the people from North America to South America, crazy stuff like that. No source ever provided. You go in their room, all they do is kick you out. They don't never want to build with you with none of that. So just a bunch of rhetoric. And like Rob Barnes says, it's about the bag.
Yeah, man, getting that money,
bro.
They getting paid.
All right, and everybody let everybody know. I don't know what to call him now, but y'all know him as Uncle. His son decided that his dad left him and that he's not around to supervise him, and he just came out the woodworks again. His son is back on the scene. He probably thought that his dad left and his uncles and brothers and cousins and sisters is gone. So we got there's gonna be some ass whipping handle out. So this is just a prelude, light work, light shit. It's cool though, man.
What you talking about, brother?
Oh, you're here.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Hello, buddy.
He's here.
What's going on?
We talking about your son, man. That nigga that ran away from home and shit. He acting stupid now. He came back, man. He causing problems again.
Son.
What you mean by that?
Listen, man. Don't play. You know what's going on. Your son got so bold, he just came out with the ill title. The first Africans were white people who came to the Americas. Then he came back. My dad's not around. He's not here. There is no evidence of no slave shits.
Is that true?
Is it true that he said that?
Is it true that the first what did he say? What was his statement now? But don't lie on them now. Get the exact statement.
Yo, Born, post
the first Africans that came to the Americas were Europeans.
Post the screenshot that you got.
Is that true?
They were brought from Europe.
Were the first Africans who were brought to the Americas Europeans?
They were brought from Europe.
Were they ethnicity Europeans? He is saying.
You heard what I said?
I heard you, but that's
we
not.
Heard you, but that's not clear enough for them.
That's not what his video.
If you heard what I said,
I heard you. I get it. I know you're trying to defend your. I know you're trying to defend your son because he came out. I'm know that.
To defend him exactly.
No, you can't defend him because he said the white people are the real Africans. So are you going to defend that?
That's a different statement.
No, but that's what the video. No, I'm not. That's what the video says. What
the statement was.
Do you want me to play it? Yes or no?
I want you to be clear on what.
I am very clear. I'm very clear. His next statement was there are no primary documents of slave ships, and that the Amistad is fake.
Wait, hold on. Two different statements. So one. Have you gone over tonight? How many people you got watching?
I don't know yet. I ain't look.
How many people watching?
I don't know, bro.
We got like 44, 45 in here.
So, everybody, we're not even going to go into this. So we're going to move on. Look up the Henrietta Marie take a vacation to Key West, Florida when COVID is over, and you can go see pieces of the slave ship that was dug up by Black scuba divers in the Mel Fisher Museum. And about 500 feet from there is the African burial ground. And I will put everything on it, and so will Rob Bourne. Why? Because I have been there multiple times and did a little lecture there, and Rob Bourne has been there. So once again, if you want the answer to the slave ship question that keeps coming up, go on vacation to Key West and go to the Mel Fisher Museum, and you will see the Henrietta Marie.
I got
I
the
almost forgot why I was here today.
No. We
got
need
the
to
link
be
up.
clear. We need to be
Finish.
clear. No. We need to be clear.
Finish.
Move on. That's that. So that one is done. Are we clear on that one?
Hey, Danny, I got the link on me if you want me to read it.
That's great. You don't need to read it. Somebody could put it in the chat so the 40 people who are listening can spread it to 40 other people, and then 40 more, and then this nonsense, stupid thing will be put to rest. We're gonna be real strategic and simple with this. So there were slave ships. That is one. There are others, but deal with that one first. See how that works?
Good. And
Next.
the Amistad is fake.
And
The
Brother Geechee, you have no culture.
Amistad, there are plenty of records for the Amistad. The people from the Amistad actually were where? That's right. They were in New York City.
New York.
Guess who has the records of them?
The Library
right.
of Congress. Wait a minute. I need some help with the
You
Library
can
of
go
Congress.
deeper than the Library of Congress, and I tell you, they
Archives.gov.
were in New York City, and there's
All right.
records all around New York. But for the masses,
But let's do this though. Let's
for
do this.
the
This is
masses,
just
hold on.
real quick. This is real quick. I'm putting them up there because I know you mad because your son is out of line. And
I'm
you
not
like,
mad.
I have to
I'm
do
mad
this
at you
again.
mentioning this.
Nah, this is what the young kids are talking about. Look in the chat.
Well,
you got
this
one.
is
You
the
got
real
one
simple
now.
answer.
Look. Here's the primaries right here. Since you guys like archives and I went in the National Archives. Here's the Amistad case. Here's the related primary sources. All of it is right here. You can see the names. You can see who was on it. You can see the petition. You can see where they was going. You can see the people who was helping.
Hold on, folks.
Blah,
Let's
blah,
be
blah.
clear. Let's be clear. They went around like people saw them, multiple people, because this was a big court case. This is a big court case in American history. Do you think they manufacture it so some bozo in 2021 could come and tell you that it was all fake? Why? Amistad didn't start when the movie started. Denzel Washington is not really Malcolm X. Are we clear on the Amistad thing? You have provided the resources and the references, and you've also I provided the resources on the slave ship. What was the other one? The other one was about who were those Africans. Now you have to understand his wordplay and how he's going to dance around it. So those people who were African and who are of African descent lived in Europe. Those were the first people that were sent to the Americas. So he is going to dance around and play this semantic game of just that, not going into the details. Is those people who live there who are African and of African descent have a history that goes back to the early 1400s, the 1440s. Actually, you can go back to as early as 1415, but we'll say 1440s, where Africans were taken from West Africa to Europe. That's how the Africans got to Europe. Okay, so by the time that Columbus goes even, that is half of century of them taking Africans from Africa, West Africa, to Europe. Along with, you have the descendants of people that you like to call the Moors who are there. There are cultures mixing in there. There was a decree that comes in, was 1501, 1502, about sending Africans or slaves to the New World, who are the first ones that we're talking to? Either Rabon or Senab or Kamal can show you the actual decree.
Yeah,
that
he pulled it up.
tells you.
He pulled it up earlier.
Okay, so those three are taken care of. What are you jumping around about?
I'm not jumping around. Your son just came back. But before
Are
we
you
go,
clear on how to answer the question? Are the 40 people clear on how to answer the
I'm
question?
good. I'm good, man. You
Are
got
the
to deal.
40 people in the
You the
chat
one.
clear?
You the one that got your son out here acting crazy.
All
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see the title of the room. We are now gonna put an interlude on, and we're gonna listen to Top Catz die old school
What?
style.
What are you
I'll be
playing?
done. Don't worry about it. You're gonna hear it right now, man. Just mute your mic, bro. You're gonna
Oh,
be all
Lord.
right.
What the hell is going on?
This is yeah. You're involved in this one, buddy.
No, brother.
Yep. You gotta mute your mic.
I'm not nothing to do with nothing about to
Pipe you
happen.
down. Pipe down. Quiet. Everybody, let me know if y'all can hear this.
And Africanism and dealing with that, dealing with the slave trade,
Nope.
you don't say that. And
Y'all can
No.
hear this?
leave your African
No.
ancestor out. John, Hope, Africanism.
Y'all can hear this?
Yeah, we can
No.
hear it. We can hear it.
Yeah,
And
you liar.
Pan-Africanism is not a religion. You told a whole bunch of lies. If you're going to get this work tonight, only information. We ain't doing nothing personal here. All information.
Let's speed up a little
Religion
more.
is Christianity. Prove it.
It's AME church. That's what I said.
Okay.
Wrong.
Definition.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Hey, who wrong? Hey, hold on. Who wrong? True story. So what is it then? Once you help him out then?
No, I ain't know no help. He could do it by himself. There is no
Okay,
religion.
so what you got
So let
then?
me-
What's
you
the
want me to answer the
Pan-African
question?
religion?
Are you done? Because I'll answer it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, good. Now listen. There is no religion for it. It's an ideology. The religion is what you're attaching to it to make it this bully that you need to fight against. There's no religion attached.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. No. We're not gonna paint that narrative.
Then why would you paint? Wait, hold on. Listen.
Pan-Africanism.
Why would you
Pan-Africanism is independent of any religion. It's actually a philosophy.
You made
I don't need no
One mic.
One mic.
Yeah, one mic. Let him talk. So go ahead. Like, when did I ever say Pan-Africanism? Religion is the AME church.
No.
Wait, what?
I'm talking
What
about
is
this
this?
narrative that you talking about.
Be quiet, man. The people trying to listen.
Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, because you always do that. Always the Pan-Africans. You make it like you group everything under that.
Hold on. I mean, it is what it is. Pan-Africans.
Okay, right.
Everything under. Time out. Watch this here. Why y'all got a problem with the Pan-Africans?
What?
Why did y'all have a problem with the Pan-Africans?
What does that mean, Tom?
Because they was grouping everything together. All right, so how you gonna ask me?
You see, that's what I'm saying. You just
why would I
that
put
whole
them in that
scenario
boat? I
in your
put them
mind.
in that boat because that's where they put themselves.
What?
Pan-African put themselves in that boat. Pan-Africans group everything together. Y'all
That's not true.
Pan-Africans.
That's not true.
How's that going,
You
buddy?
are creating this whole thing.
It's going good. Why not?
That's not true
Okay,
at all.
so what I'm creating?
You can hear this shit, Kamu?
Nope, went out. See, that's what you call it. That's what you're being facetious.
Yeah, I can hear it. He lying. I can hear it. He lying.
Yeah, he trying to save himself. Nah,
Where did
nigga.
Pan-African come from,
We got you,
Oh
nigga.
God! Part of it's the name or the action. Which one?
Was
you want?
Pan-African a part of a missionary movement?
No, it was not.
It wasn't attached to a missionary movement.
No, it was not.
Okay,
This is what
so
I'm asking you. Wait, Tom Catz, slow down. Are you talking about the name or are you talking about the actual?
I'm talking about the whole facility of the whole
Good. So
place.
let's start with that.
You about to die.
The first iteration of it that you see is probably Paul Cuffey. That's not attached to anything but him trying to take African descendant people who were here after the Revolutionary War to take them to Sierra Leone.
Okay, now watch this here. So was he taking them there to go colonize Sierra Leone?
No, because it already had been colonized.
Hold on.
Nice try.
So the people that he was taking there, were they black or white?
They were of African descent, and
They was African descent.
Yes.
Was Paul Cuffey of African descent?
Yes, he was, and I showed you this numerous times.
Okay,
Yes.
listen, hold on.
No. Do not run because you said it was connected to a missionary point. And I just showed
Yeah, let's
you
do.
how it's not.
Okay.
So
You
you're
right
wrong.
on. Well, Paul
Right,
Cuffey
so you're
was
wrong.
connected. Paul Cuffey was a part of a missionary organization.
No, he was not.
Was Paul Cuffey a part of the Friends Society?
Yes, he was a Quaker. Absolutely.
Okay, so was the Friends Society attached to a missionary society?
Correct. They were not.
Come on, brother. So what are you
No,
saying?
did you hear what I said?
Is missionary
You hear what I
attached?
say? They
Let's
were
go.
not. The Quakers were not a part of the missionary society to take people to Sierra Leone at all.
They was not?
No, they were not. The Friends Society was
All right.
not a part of that. He created the Paul Cuffey Friendly Society. That's what he created. Paul Cuffey, listen closely because you'll get the names, worked with Akeyano and Kugayano as part of the Sons of Africa. You can look that up. That's the organization that they were putting together to get the people to Africa. It was working with Akeyano and Kugayano. It was called the Paul Cuffey Friendly Society.
Okay, so who set up the colony in Sierra Leone?
The British. Next question.
Okay, no. I got you. No, go on, Rob Boy.
The
Now watch
British.
this here. They set it
Hello,
up.
Rob
Who
Boy.
set it up on that side
Yo.
of London? Who did they send up?
I'm saying
Yo.
he's scared.
Who did they send
The
there?
Yep.
relief for the poor blacks, bro. You know that.
Wait, slow down, because
This is a missionary
what you're not gonna do
place.
is don't overtalk me. I'm gonna answer your questions to educate you correctly. Before the relief of the poor blacks movement, Sierra Leone had already been set up. Do you understand?
Why did they? No, hold on. I do understand. Why was the relief for the poor blacks in there? Did they go there on missionary work?
Listen to this. The relief of the poor blacks has to once again deal with Ekeyano. Those people who wanted relief were people who fought with the British in the Revolutionary War. After the Revolutionary War in 1783, they had something called Evacuation Day. The British promised to take all of those of Africans and Africans with them when they leave. The British have 32 colonies. They didn't have just the 13. They sent those Africans all around their colonies. A good portion went to Britain. They faced hardship in Britain. This is why they
were they missionary workers, brother?
I'm going to answer your questions. You asked me about this relief for the black poor. I'm showing you where they came in, man. Ekeyano is there and sees them people suffering, and he is the one working with Wesley and other people, not Wesley, their name come to me, over in England to have that work. That's where the relief comes from. And they look at Sierra Leone as an option because there was two sets of people having problems. It was the ones who was in Nova Scotia, who were the Nova Scotia settlers. People can Google that right now and look it up. And the ones who were in England. Those two groups, along with some in the Caribbean, are the ones that go to Freedmanstown, or what we know as Freetown in Sierra Leone. That's what happens. Go ahead. That's 1783. Evacuation Day. People can Google that.
Missionaries, brother. These were missionary workers coming out of the Friends Society. The Friends Society.
The Quakers were not involved, brother.
The Quakers was involved, brother. The Quakers was involved.
Nothing to do with the poor blacks.
They did not. Exactly. You're lying.
Who said the Quakers didn't have nothing to do with the poor blacks? The
Terry
Quakers
was
said
from
that.
England, but Terry, don't worry about this.
Somebody just jumped out there. Was he wrong or was he right when he jumped out there, True?
He was right because he agreed with me.
No, that was wrong, nigga. You were saying that the Quakers didn't send the relief for the poor black. They were sent out there by the Friends Society.
Show me the Friends Society in Sierra Leone doing the missionary work, sending the Africans there. Prove it.
Okay, all right, I got you right here.
Thank you.
When French and the English didn't agree with each other, how could that work?
George Fox and the Quakers and the Shakers got their own problems in England at the time.
Hey, who was Hannah Killham? Who was Hannah Killham?
Educate me, brother. Go ahead.
She was a Sheffield. She was a Quaker. She was the Quaker who went out there and took the Jalaf the written script. Ended up doing the missionary work for the Friends Society.
Okay,
And this is
what
where
year
they
was
started
this?
coming up with these scripts
What year was this?
for Africa.
What year was this?
I have to get to the year.
Exactly. So don't give me half-assed. Don't use her until
Hey,
you get
okay,
all
well,
the
18.
details.
Hold on. Yeah, I get to the year. I get to the year. I get to the year.
Hey, get real. Hey, get real.
His ass through.
Yeah, he done. He cooked.
You can tell in his voice he count.
Yeah, he is. He cooked.
Yeah, it's over with.
He cooked. I had to keep. They told me they will hit me up. Keep calling that bitch ass boy out. He brought his ugly ass to the stage.
He through, bro. Listen, man, you know when somebody talking genuine as fuck when somebody know they capping, bro.
Yeah.
This man straight cap, bro.
Yeah, he is.
He count.
He is. Send him over. Go ahead.
Dude talking smooth as hell.
Who, Danny?
Every time
Danny
you say
is the
something,
fucking truth. He the truth. I'm telling you. Send him on, Jeff. Send him
All right,
on.
no more bigging this nigga Danny up. That's it. Listen, man. Wait, y'all want to see the rest of that? We gonna do a little remake of that. But this is what be happening
We
on
not
Clubhouse.
bullying. We bullying them right now. I don't want to be.
Nah, nigga,
So,
we all
folks,
bullying.
Can I speak, please, folks? I'd like to say for every body bag that you just heard in that last couple of minutes, $5 to History Man 718 is the cash app. If you want to see continuous of the body bags, please let me know. Body bags are us now because obviously Senab, Robon, Kamau, and crew want to have dissertations and discussions with the nutbag side of the house, and I come for strictly destroy missions. That is History Man 718, $5 for every time you heard the slaughtering that took place, along with Dane Calloway, who you all are scared about. You can go back and see who made him pull the plug from the internet. That's History Man 718. Body bags are us. There's no need for me to call me out when Rob Owens and Nab Kamau and crew want to have that little doctrinal debates and dissertations. Okay? That's how it's gonna go. Once again, History Man 718. If you heard it live and direct with the resources that I mentioned, teaching moments at funerals. That's how it goes.
Hold on, should I put the John Franklin part in when the other dude killed him?
Yeah.
No.
We gonna save that. We gonna save that.
You can save that.
We gotta
But
hook
I
him
just
up
want
with
to be
Vassar.
clear. May I go back in the chat now?
Yo, this dude sitting on this house.
Hold on, I want to thank actually 3 million. I think actually gave the donation, even with the slick comments about he's Indian and I'm an African bitch or something like that. But I do want to give a shout out to 3 million because he did give a cash up. So if a hater can give a cash out because he saw the body bag that happened, others should follow suit. That's History Man 718 at Cash App. And you can see the destruction of your favorite Abo superhero as well. Okay, may I go now?
Ain't nobody tell you to stay around. Get your ass out of here.
Guys, you have a great night with your little tete-a-tete
Back to
fun facts and
Yo,
files, okay?
why is this guy that? We come in here killing,
Take care,
man.
guys. Bye-bye.
Get out of here. Get out of here. This guy here. What's wrong with this guy, man? You see, man, this is what happens, yo, when you get old, bro.
Grumpy, man.
You get old, grumpy ass man, bro.
They get grumpy.
Yeah, man. So, yo, Kamu, man, tell us about that book. We about to end this, man. This was just real quick. That video was longer, and there's a bigger body bag in it. And I think that body bag was bigger than Danny's. It was bigger than mine. And it came from somebody else who you've never heard before. And I was sitting there like, whoa. You know face? Yeah. You know that face when that face when they be like, got him? You know that thing got, yo, I was like, yeah, Danny, yeah, you did a little thing. I smacked him up. You was smacking him. But that dude came in there and was like, you ain't who you say you are. Had him. Yo, the dude, yo, it's like Cassidy Yo, this is the perfect analogy. It's like Cassidy and Hitman in the face off. So you see how Cassidy was sitting there all calm and shit, said 2-3 things and got the nigga all mad when to grab his bag like he gonna shoot the room up. Yo, that dude said that shit to him. That dude was about to kill everybody in the room. I think that's how we gonna do the video. We gonna put Cassidy and Hitman on there and have Hitman going all crazy and shit, and then show this nigga Top Catz. We gonna have him looking like Garfield on this bitch.
So mad and frustrated. Like, man, you do all that wolf, man, show something, yo. We ain't trying to go back and forth with all that, yo. Show something.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, man, the ethers are in the air. This is ether season. There's gonna be some more. Tried to get them other people over there, but I don't see none of them over there. I sent the link to Maggie. Maggie ain't responding.
Yeah, I think they in the UK, some of them. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, it's like probably like 5 in the morning. 3 in the morning.
Watching, you know what I'm saying? Peace to them. I don't know if they want to get in the chat, but we got 53 people in here. I mean, this is consistent with, Apple Wars, which are seasonal. All that wolfing on the internet. But when it comes down to hopping on this screen and showing that source, showing that information, no one clicks that link. And if the ones who unfortunately do click that link, you can go back to our channel, each one teach one, and you'll see the results of that. So I don't know, man. I don't know, I want to keep going back and forth with these folks, you know what I'm saying, just talking. I want them to come on and show some information, show these people who you say you are, show these quote unquote melanated people who was here before than African, but not a Native American. They're not Native, but they're not African either. So who are you? What language do you speak? Yeah.
So I think we lived up to the title today, yeah?
Yeah.
There ain't no coming back from that. He ain't gonna be able to show you nothing but a SETI presentation. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be some pictures on that screen that he gonna show. Top Catz giving pure God was using his daughter as a prop arm. I don't know about that one.
True story, and came in here to try to get some money and get out of here. We don't think you slick.
Yeah,
you ain't slick.
He
came in here to try to get the bag. He came in here to try to get the bag and then leave. Look at him. Look, he said $5 for public discipline, $10 for total destruction of your favorite album.
Hey, murder for hire. Mercenary for hire. Yeah, they not coming on here, yo. We're gonna keep beating them up on the other joint. It's all good.
Yo, man. Peace, Wisdom, peace, Robert, peace, everybody in the building. It's 50 in the building now. I don't know why it's only 50. It's supposed to be 100 up in this motherfucker. I don't know where y'all at. See, y'all making me not want to come back. Shit, we going to Clubhouse. It'd be 100 people in there. Might be 200 people in our rooms over there. I might not want to come back over here.
Yeah, we got to come back over here though, because it's where you show and prove at. But we need one of the elbows in here. So,
Nah, we gonna get them over here.
Homicide.
But we got a couple of sisters, man. We got Dr. Goddess, she official. We got some people that we met, man. They kind of like level-headed with this shit, man. Yeah,
it's refreshing.
So we gonna have some people on. I'm not lying to y'all. True story is, so what, $10 get me. Yo.
That goes crazy.
Hey, I don't know what y'all thinking over here. Listen, true story is charging y'all $10. Listen, yo, $50, son, and I'm killing everybody. $50 and I'm killing everybody.
$49, I'll do it.
I'm about to cash out you and Chanel right now.
Oh man, appreciate that.
Shamika, I don't really want to tell you what Clubhouse is, man. I don't want to introduce you to that world. Nah, Earth, peace to you. I don't want to introduce you. I don't think I want you to be over there. You can stay on YouTube.
Hang out on steroids.
Stay over here, Shamika. I don't want you over there. I think you're good right here. You're good over here, yo.
Your phone on, y'all lucky my phone was saying, man, you been here for like 45 minutes. You could have been came on. Yeah, we gotta bring Ian over. Ian is
Yo, Vasa, we got somebody for you, bro. We got somebody for you. He's a straight up free man, yo. He know that shit backwards and forwards, bro.
We gotta
Y'all
get
gonna
on
click,
that.
yo. So we gonna get him on. He put Top Catz in the body bag, in the body bag. He put him in, he put him in the chokehold. All the girls on the panel was like, whoa, okay, that hurt.
So he put him in the Sister Abigail, the torture rack, you know, raises
Yeah.
any wrestling movie, he put him in there. Yo.
Hey, yo, I'm telling you, son, listen, that shit is just like Cassidy and Hitman. Hitman got mad because he looked and he saw them girls laughing at him, you heard? And all Cassidy just said, how? You not better than me. How?
Yo, he was like, Hitman, come holler at a real Hitman or something like that. He says, oh man, poor Hitman holler, yo. He underestimated Catz. You know what happened to him is the same happened that what Milk did to what you call it?
Or Loaded Lux?
Nah, the last joint. Tay-Rock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He got pink, he got not pink, but red contact sense. He already sweating all over the place, so he's already disadvantaged, but now you out of character. You know what I'm saying? And Mook was just fly. He wasn't sweating. He was calm, cool, collected. Cassidy did that same thing to Hitman. Yo, he got him out of character.
Facts. Yo, Chauncey Moore said, come back to YouTube. I can't take any more Jesus and ancient command debate. Yo,
Kemet Wars is back.
Hey, yo, Chauncey, I'm gonna tell you some real shit that's gonna really like, yo, son, it's like 1 million people on fucking Clubhouse, bro. That's how many people is over there. Yo, every conversation is about Black American history, bro. You might catch, you got the little things going on because you got history shit. But when it comes to the people that's talking about history, it's all about reparations, Pan-Africanism versus everybody. These stupid elbows talking about, Pan-Africanism is this, that, and it's all that. And these are all the people we running into. And they like, where you guys been? I'm like, where the fuck you been? Where you been hiding, nigga? And this girl and this women, son, who know this shit, that's what's gonna make it awesome, bro. We gonna form the alliance over here. We gonna try to wash everybody up, son. It's time to get them out of here, son. We gonna smack them up, bro. But I think that's it, bro. You think we can end it now?
Yeah, we can end it now, man. They not gonna come. We appreciate what the 45. I think we had 50 and 16 in a row.
Yeah, that was a good build though.
Coming through. Hopefully we gave some information that y'all able to get. Check out the Discord. I've already posted 2 of the links in the Discord page. The MBK community page. Check that out after the video. I posted the Niger Valley Exploring Party on the MBK community page. And for those who don't know, we have a Facebook group called Each One Teach One. All the information you see on the page, all the information we talk about on Clubhouse is also there as well. So appreciate everyone.
Yo, Wisdom, why you tell Shamika to download that app, yo? I told you, man, yo. We don't want her over there, man. We want the earth to be chilling, man. You gotta bring her. Oh, man, yo. Yeah, but it's crazy, bro. What's up, Black Power? ED Black Riders. But yo, man, peace to everybody in the building. I don't know who this up 3 million or off Bitcoin. I don't know who that is. But peace to everybody in the building. We out of here. Hope you enjoyed the Ether session. We had a guest appearance from, I guess his name is Soul Rebel now. And adios, people.
All right, peace.
Yo, that shit. Hold on. Let me see how.